Alright, so spent a good amount of time, got this thing all finished up. I think it turned out beautiful. I love the way it turned out. Obviously got it painted. I don't know what kind of paint it was, Aluma something. But love the color, a lot better than the green that was on there. Looks a little bit more like a respectable boat now than just a aluminum tub. Welded up all the holes that were in here from all the random stuff before. Made a new little panel. Got a nice little charger. I used to have the fish finder mounted up here. Took that off, mounted it flush, and it looks nice. Nice, simple, clean. How you like your boat to look. And then got rid of, I used to have some cleats up here. Moved them down to the inside. Replaced all that stuff. Got rid of the little clamping, stick in light, and got that guy. It was chrome, I had to paint it, but center console, I think I mentioned it in the last video, but it was just a pile of junk. Any kind of rough wire you would be in, it would rattle like mad, and it was just, it was crazy. So put a cross brace in there, and there's also another one that goes from this corner to the far corner right there. So it's rock solid now, which is nice. Cup holders, the most important part of your boat. And then just some little stuff, painted everything black, which goes good with the gray. And then all the wires and all that used to be just exposed over there, so finally cleaned all that up. It's all new wiring now, but cleaned all that up. It's all nice and hidden and secured. Turned out it looks much better. Got all these little hatch cables so I don't break my hinges anymore. Tunnel hole, and then redid all the wiring in the boat. So turned out pretty good. I like it. And I got these little deals right here. I'm gonna put a bungee cord across there. Probably later today. I just gotta go buy one. But redid all the wiring. I got this little switch right here. This is the aeration pump for the live well, or the freshwater pump. So this is just a second switch just to turn it off, because most of the time I use this live well as a dry box, not a fish box. So just put all my crap in there, keeps it dry, and I don't have to worry about someone accidentally switching it on and getting all your stuff wet. Oh, if you have an aluminum boat, these mats work phenomenal. Like the boat right now, that you can't touch it. It's too hot to touch. But these, they still get hot, but lifesaver. A little vent right there. That's the one thing I did, I think, on here that really didn't work out. It doesn't really do anything when you open or close it. If you look back at the tunnel when you open it, you can see a little stream of air coming out, but it doesn't like mix into the water, and it doesn't drop the water out of the tunnel like you would hope. So I don't know if it's the way the cover is on there or it's not big enough. I don't know. It's a 3/4 inch tube, so I think it's big enough. It's probably just the cover. And then the new addition to what I did after I had it out, built some little trim tabs. And these things, way underrated on little boats. They completely change the way the boat rides in a great way. Oh yeah, I didn't show these either. These are just little pads I put on the back for mounting stuff because I don't like drilling more holes in the boat. So that's nice. You can just rivet, screw, whatever. Doesn't go through the boat. Yeah, so the trim tabs, I put the motor, everything on there. Well, I guess I'll talk about, back up a second, we'll talk about motor height. So before this boat, the top of the clamp was 1¼ inches, 1½ inches above this line, and then I added this 2x4. So now the motor is sitting a solid, I don't know, 6-7 inches higher, 6 inches higher. The tunnel lifts it 3½ inches up, so the motor was set too low before. No, it's really, now it's set too high, but that's how I like it for running shallow. But, and then, yeah, so I gained a whole bunch of clearance. It was running about 8 inches of water like this, because the only thing you could do with the trim, and I think this is because of the weight. I took out, there was a whole bunch of waterlogged foam in the bottom of the boat, and I took all that out. It had to be 250 pounds. So with that out, the boat kind of porpoised a little bit. You could be running it with like 1 second of trim, so 1001, and that's all. Anything past that, and the boat would just start hopping out of the water, like actually coming out of the water. It was jumping. It was weird. So trim tabs, put them on, and there's not much angle on them at all. They're maybe 1/4 inch lower than the in the back than in the front. So they don't really slow you down. I lost about 1/2 mile an hour, but now I can trim the motor all the way up. Now I can't do that if I'm in the boat by myself, but with one other person sitting right here, you can trim it all the way up, and it really lifts the motor up out of the water a lot. It actually runs the prop surfacing, so the water is right about there, so it shoots a mad rooster tail, but sure is nice for the river I run. Yeah, it worked out good. Highly recommend putting tabs on your little boat if you got them, or if you have any kind of porpoising issues. Or another thing, when you're going in rough water, and I take this thing in some rough water. Like, I was in Lake of the Ozarks on the 4th of July, so the waves they're not messing around. They're 3 foot, and there's 4 foot swells. It's rough. But with the tab, instead of like a normal John boat comes up and just slams back down, the tab's really slowed down how fast it goes up and down. So it still bounces around like you would expect a 16-foot boat to do in rough water, but it's a lot more manageable, not as violent. That's about it. I don't know. If you got any questions, post them below.